Okay, so if you feel like you are really going through a situation right now and you're not sure how you're gonna make it out the other end, or you feel like you're going to be able to navigate this next chapter, or whatever it may be, today's video, I'm going to guide you through how to navigate this. Okay, I want to talk about strength. I feel like in today's society, strength is like labeled as an individual, or like a strong person is someone that can just like carry things and cop things, and the person that everyone goes to and leans on, and they're always just so strong and have so much capacity to take things. Like, you could give them extra and they'd still be fine. And I think we all know, whether it is yourself or someone that you know that is like the strong person. It makes me really sad that this is still a thing in today's society, in the world, that being strong is praised. Being strong in the sense that if you can carry more, if you can not be so affected by traumatic things, by pain, if you can hide it well, if you can like put it in your backpack and just carry it around and act like it's no deal, that you're praised on being strong. Okay, so when people go through things and they seem fine and everyone praises them and says, oh, you're so strong, like you're doing so amazing, like I'm so proud of you, you're so strong. Why is that something that we're praised upon? Because in the sense that you are being praised for being strong because you aren't feeling things and you're just carrying it and copying it, that actually manifests in so many different ways, and it doesn't benefit the person that is strong. What people don't realize is that by being strong and sweeping it under the rug and putting it in your backpack, carrying it around and showing to people how unaffected you are and how strong you are isn't real strength. I think that's weak. I think that's the weakest thing that you could do, because the strongest thing that you can do is actually unpack what has gone on and be real and raw and honest with yourself. And that is scary to a lot of people. For me, for example, we don't realize when you are being the fake strong and just wearing the burden and just acting unaffected, but deep down you know it affects you, but you're the strong person, you're actually storing it inside your body. You're not allowing yourself to feel the pain or even acknowledge the pain or acknowledge that you're hurt. And when you don't feel it and you don't release it, you are storing it. And I've been in this situation. I've been in this position where I've had to be strong. The thing about that is, like, strong people don't want to be strong. Strong people are forced to be strong. You are forced to be strong. You have no other option. You can't crumble. You can't fall. You can't be weak. You have to be strong. You have no other choice. And unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of people, and they learn to live with it. They learn to deal with it, right? And what they don't realize is, because you are forced to be strong, you are then being praised for it. You are then storing it. You then have a label that has been given to you. You're so strong. So how are you going to ever feel safe to feel your emotions and unpack the damage if you are being praised for holding it in? If you have been labeled and boxed in as a strong person, how are you actually going to unpack things? Because now you have not only yourself that doesn't want to do that because you're so strong and you're afraid to feel, but you also have other people that have now labeled you and put you in a box. So now not only do you have to show that to yourself, but to other people as well. That is hard. That is so hard. And that is why a lot of people don't, and they learn to live with it. And that causes so much damage. Speaking from experience, when I didn't feel things and I just had to be strong, I carried it. And that manifested not as emotional release, not as mental release, but that actually manifests as illness. I got sick. I got sick. I got so sick because the only way that that energy was going to release itself was in my body, because it was stored in there. Okay, it was stored. So I think this whole strong thing and being praised on being strong is completely backward. And I think we should start to raise the conversation that being strong, and the strongest and bravest thing that you can do, is be honest with yourself and understand and unpack and feel. That is true strength. The first thing I want you to understand is, when you are going through something, when you are going through a traumatic event, when you are forced to feel and you feel so alone, That's the number one thing. You feel like no one understands you. No one understands what it's like. No one feels it the way that you feel it because you're the only one that's going through it. I promise you this. We are all human beings. We all have the ability to feel every single emotion there is. At some point in time, someone has been in the position that you've been in and they have felt it. Yes, if you're an empath, you feel things stronger. Trust me, I feel the highest of highs, but I also feel the lowest of lows. It feels like the lows is like electrified, right? So like a low to someone else is meh, but to me it's like, oosh, that's deep. Even if that's the case for you, even if you are a deep feeler, there's other deep feelers out there and you are not alone. Someone has felt that way before. And that is the incredible thing about being on earth and having the ability to even feel these emotions is understanding what it is teaching you and what it is showing you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there for no reason. You know, we wouldn't have the capacity to even feel sadness, to feel grief, to feel anger if it wasn't a purpose for it, right? There's a purpose for everything, and knowing that you're not alone in feeling that. Something that I learned in the past year, it's coming up to a 1-year anniversary of an awful time in my life. Okay, so within a span of a week, I'd lost my best friend, my grandmother, who had passed away, planned the funeral, delivered her eulogy. My childhood dog passed away at the same time, buried her. I went through a bad breakup. This all happened within a week. Okay, I had the strength to show up because I felt I had no other choice. I had to be strong for the people around me because everyone else was also going through it. It wasn't just me. My family, the people in my life were also going through the pain of losing someone. Okay, so what you need to understand is that in situations even like this, everyone else is also feeling grief. Everyone else is also going through the loss, right? And instead of standing there and refusing to feel and putting on a brave face and showing people how strong you are and that you can handle it and everyone can lean on you, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're also doing them a disservice. Because tell me how you're going to sit there with someone and act unaffected just so you can support someone else. Do you know the best ways to heal is when you understand and you connect with someone else. Think about it. We've all seen the girls that go through a breakup at the same time and they literally, their energy heals each other because they both connect and understand what it's like. There's not one person being so brave and unaffected. They both understand the depths of it and they literally, their energy heals, right? We've all seen that. So the same thing goes through the loss of someone. Instead of being there with a brave face and I can take it all and I understand it, being vulnerable and saying, you know what? This is really tough. Like, this is actually a really hard time. And connecting with people, even if you're experiencing something on your own, there's been someone in that situation before. Okay, so instead of having the brave face and not feeling and being the strong person, you're showing people that they're alone because you're good and they're not good. But you're not good. It's all fake. You're not good. If you were honest with yourself and you didn't feel forced to be strong for other people because you don't want people to feel like they're going to crumble, they need something to hold on to, the bravest and strongest thing you can do is show people and be honest with yourself and be transparent and be raw and understand that it's like, I went through this thing and I'm so devastated and I'm so heartbroken right now and I don't know what I'm going to do next. And, you know, for me, I just lost 2 of my best friends in 1 week and I'll never see and speak to again. I lost my childhood dog. The whole thing was traumatizing. Instead of sitting there and acting like it's okay, I've got this, I'm going to handle this, I'm going to get through this, and sweeping it under the rug, I literally allowed myself to give up. After I realized what I was doing, I realized I was trying to be strong, just like in the past, and I got sick. I wasn't going to go there again. I said, Abby, you're hurt. You're heartbroken. You're devastated. You are traumatized right now. You feeling sad, feeling angry, 1000% okay. So do it. Show people that it's okay to feel this way and that there's no shame, there's no judgment. You have every right to feel that way. Anyone in that position would feel that way. Okay? And releasing it. Crying, lay in your puddle of tears and cry if you need to. Get angry. for as long as you need, but don't let it hold you back. The strongest thing you can do is in situations where you can close yourself off and become cold and block it all out and act like it's fine and keep moving. The strongest thing that you can do is stay open. Allow yourself to feel every single thing that you feel. Feeling things is a blessing. Feeling things is such a unique experience that you only get to experience while you're alive. Okay? These emotions exist for a reason. If you weren't meant to experience sadness, you wouldn't even exist. Sadness wouldn't exist. If you weren't meant to experience grief, grief wouldn't exist. But you don't see it while you're in it because you feel like you're the only person that's ever experienced this, and you feel alone. You feel like people don't understand what it's like. I promise you, people have been through it before. I literally went from unable to cry, unable to even squeeze a tear out, to now I literally cry 3 times a week. It's maintenance. It's not that I'm sad. It's not that I'm angry. It's not that I'm depressed. It's not that I'm anxious. It's not that I'm all these things. It's that I literally just continuously regulate myself, check in with myself. When you reflect on the past and think about how far you've come, does that not make you emotional? Does it not make you emotional to witness the person that you've become through all hardships? Does it not make you emotional to realize that you've become the person that you would have loved and looked up to and needed it as a child? Like, does that not make you emotional knowing that you've really stepped into your power and become your biggest dream? Like, does that not make you emotional? And people don't realize that these emotions are so powerful. People think that they're bad because they're uncomfortable. Like, it's a low vibrational frequency. It's a low vibrational emotion. You need to understand that those emotions hold energy, and that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's just transmuted. So that energy has been sent to you through events. It's about what you do with that energy. You can sit there and you can be a victim and you can give up. Okay, if you need to give up, give up. Mentally give up, emotionally give up, physically give up. Okay, release the expectation to be strong, to be better, to be whatever it is that you have created in your mind. Give up, because you won't last. You won't last in the giving up phase. Giving up will last an hour, a day, a week, a month. Okay, it'll only last so long before you get bored, before you get tired of giving up. But the allowing of giving yourself grace and removing expectation to be a certain way or do something is such a safe space for you to feel everything and not judge yourself and not be like, oh, now I gotta do this, now I gotta do this. Like, mind, body, soul, relax. Mind, body, soul, you have a break. You've set the intention to give up, but you won't stay there. I promise you, you won't stay there, because while you were in this state, you still have those emotions that you were working through. The heartbreak, the grief, the anger, the sadness, they are still around you. And while you are feeling them, and while this is so important, you need to use them to your advantage. It has almost been 1 year since I went through this, and I feel like I've continuously been to different versions of rock bottom, and each time I get better because I understand that these emotions hold potent energy, and if I don't use them to my advantage, I'm a fool and I've wasted it, and I went through all that for nothing. I went through all that for nothing because I didn't even use that to my advantage. Okay, experiences expand you, experiences open you, and if you shut yourself off and go cold and don't want to feel it and put on your brave face and keep walking through life, then you don't grow. Then you stay stagnant and you wonder why you can't break through and get what you want out of life. You need to allow yourself to open. You need to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to feel, to receive. And when you do that, you understand that you can do what you want with this energy. Okay, it has been 1 year since I went through this. 1 year. And I tell you what, I have made the biggest jumps ever in my life because of this. When at one point I thought I couldn't continue. At one point I thought I can't do this anymore. I feel like I've lost everything. Okay, I got to that point and I gave up, and I lasted 3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks. Cried every day. Got angry every day. Questioned why is this happening? I realized why this was happening. Have you ever noticed that the best music, the best artists, the best YouTubers, the best everything create from that emotion? They create from that emotion. They create from the inspiration of their experiences. They learn it and they then use it to their advantage. You would be a fool not to use it to your advantage. That's what I did. I gave up and then I felt it and I cried I cried every day for 3 months. I don't have any shame about it. I still cry all the time. And it's not that I'm like in a bad state. It's that I regulate and that I feel things so deeply. And I've just accepted that the more that I feel, the more inspiration that I get, the more fuel that I get, the more ammunition I get. It turns into a launch pad for me. Like truly, it fuels me. It becomes a launch pad for me to transmute pain, lower vibration emotions into greatness, into like amazing things. And I think that is the true power of being an alchemist, is every single thing that gets thrown at me, I turn it into magic. It has been 1 year. And in that year, in the first 6 months, I doubled my first year of business income because I use that as fuel. I use that as inspiration. I use that as my motivation. Okay. I realized I have all this energy, even though it's uncomfortable and bad. Energy is energy. Energy is energy. And I used it to my advantage. I transmuted it and I put it out into the world and I received it back. I expanded it and I put it out there and I received it back. Okay, I created huge shifts in my life, the biggest shifts that I've ever made, internally, externally. I'm telling you right now, when you look back, you realize everything happened the way that it needed to happen to shape you, to bring you to where you're meant to be. And if you don't see it like that, it's because you've closed yourself off, truly. When you close yourself off, you can't see a vision, you can't see why things happen, you can't see the greater purpose, you can't see anything other than your bubble. You can't see what's waiting for you on the other side of your trauma, on the other side of your hard times, on the other side of rock bottom. If you can go so deep, you can also go so high. Think about it. Duality, the law of duality. If you can go down, you can go up. If you've gone right down to the bottom, use it to your advantage to go all the way to the top. I'm telling you right now, the most successful people have been through shit. The most successful people have gone through hard times and they know how to alchemize that. They know how to work with it. Instead of being a victim, instead of blaming, instead of feeling like I can't do it and using it for no good and carrying it with them the rest of their lives, they learn how to integrate it. They learn how to alchemize it and they use it as a launch pad to create greatness, to make the comeback that they need to make. Okay, trust me when I say this. If you've been through hard times, don't mask yourself as a strong person and continue walking down that path of bitterness, of coldness, of regret, of shame. You don't have to live like that. I promise you, if you open yourself up, be real with yourself why this happened, feel it, and allow yourself to feel and not care what other people think, you will be successful. You will be successful because that's your ammunition. That's how you get there. That's your fuel. Okay, that's where the best stuff gets created. Okay, when I look back on my life, every time I've hit rock bottom, I come back better and bigger than ever. And every time I know when shit happens, I know it's because I'm up leveling, and I know it's because I'm being fed fuel, right? Don't waste this energy. This energy is so potent. Okay, feeling your emotions is the strongest thing that you can do because now you understand the energy that's happening in your body and you can transmute it. You have so much power in you, and you need to understand that everything is happening for you, even when you can't see it, even when you're going through the depths of it and it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel and it feels never ending and it feels like no one understands. I promise you, someone has been there and someone has alchemized that situation, and you can too. If you're this far into the video, you can too. I promise you, it is not this big thing. It is about you really being honest with yourself and feeling things and understanding. When you look back, you will see why things had to happen the way that they happened, how that framed you, how that shaped you, and how you've become the person that you needed all along. Becoming the person that receives those blessings. Okay, becoming the person that can get everything they want out of life, get their dream life, be in the reality they want to be in, be with the people they want to be with, attract the right things, attract everything that they desire for the highest good and highest vibration. They can do that effortlessly. Okay, because they use their energy correctly and to their advantage. They're not a victim. They're not anchored by the past. They don't let their past determine things. They don't stay there. They understand, they release, and they keep moving, and they bring the wisdom with them. They bring the knowledge with them. They bring the lessons with them, and they use it to their advantage. If you want to learn more about alchemizing energy, I am hosting a 12-week transformation starting in May, where I will teach you the steps 1 through to 12, including my energetic expansion manifestation mindset course on how you can truly turn your pain into your power, turn it around just like I've done in this past year. Okay, if you're interested in transforming, join my 12-week alchemy program. It is in the link below. If you want some behind the scenes episodes, live talks, guided meditations, be sure to join my private community Beyond the Veil, and I hope to see you there. See you in the next video. Bye.